The first Final Four for both of these schools. Gonzaga, South Carolina, proven a lot of people wrong. I like both of these coaches, Few and Martin. What kind of a game are we going to get? Will this be a high-scoring, low-scoring, well-executed? What do you think?
I think it'll be a little ugly. Both these teams can play ugly, and I think South Carolina, we thought they'd beat Florida.
Combined with the fact that they're playing in a football stadium,
oh, yeah.
This is going to be really ugly, which could be beautiful.
Yeah, it could be beautiful. It could be one of those 41, 39. No, not that low, but it'll be low. I think Gonzaga will struggle with the ability of South Carolina to guard and switch screens, and that zone defense they'll trap.
Tell me about the Gonzaga offense and what they're going to be facing against this South Carolina defense, because the Zags offense has been phenomenal.
Yeah, that's typically Mark Few teams are really good offensively, and this team might be his best. Certainly, I think his most dynamic.
This strategy of kicking it out and shooting threes, will that work against South Carolina?
It'll work, but only if you don't allow Karnowski to get in a rhythm in the post, and that means both scoring and passing. If you double late, then you're talking about a totally different player than somebody who is getting a rhythm and is starting to realize that I'm 7'1", I'm bigger and stronger than everybody. But for me, it's about Nigel Williams-Goss. So if Gonzaga is able to get the driving kicks, then they can win this game.
Gotcha.
But if South Carolina uses that length and hounds them like they did Florida in the second half when they go 0 for 14, they're obviously going to win the game. I think the biggest issue for Gonzaga, and my biggest concern for them all year, has been who's their second wing scorer. It was Jonathan Williams against Xavier, but it's not really his game.
Gotcha.
They need somebody, Jordan Matthews, to go for 15 to 20 to win this game.
I think this has been a huge coming out party for Sindarius Thornwell. He has been maybe the player of the tournament thus far. Yeah. What do you expect out of him against Gonzaga? Who is going to be guarding him for the Bulldogs?
Well, people in Columbia are saying, hey, we've been telling you this all year, and he's been great. I think the biggest issue from a defensive side of the ball for Gonzaga is this guy, and it's really not close. He's so versatile, Adam, 6'7". He's got a very strong, complete body, NBA body. And you see the footwork. Those moves, they look simple. They're really tough. And they're not moves that you see out of most college basketball players, especially someone at that size. So I think Jonathan Williams goes on him, but I think ultimately he can get him in foul trouble because Williams, even though he's a terrific defender, is not used to guarding guys this versatile from the three. So Thornwell is absolutely the key for South Carolina from an offensive standpoint.
Interesting. All right, so push comes to shove. Phoenix, Final Four, Schultz, who you picking?
I like South Carolina.
Wow.
I'll go 77-70, so maybe a little more points than we talked about. But they've come back in 3 games in this tournament. Even if Gonzaga hits a barrage, they will then limit it. They'll adjust. And I just think they are so confident right now, as are the Zags. But ultimately, South Carolina, to me, more athletic, more physical, a little more talented.
Wow. It's been an incredible run for both schools. Can't believe we're here. But South Carolina, according to Schultz, headed to the final game. We'll see what happens down there in Phoenix.